Hello, thank you for checking out A1 Math. And today we're looking at system of equations and learning how to solve a system of equations by graphing. So the first thing I want to do is start off with the steps for system of equations. Step one is to set each equation equal to y so that it is in slope-intercept form. So I have y is equal to mx plus b. That's what I want to get there. Uh, Step two is I want to graph each equation by starting at 0, comma b, with 0 being my x uh, coordinate and b being for my y. And that b comes from the end of the y equals mx plus b. That'll be where I put my first point. And then I want to use rise over run with the m, using the numerator and the denominator, going up and down for rise and left to right for run. Then my final step is to take a look and see where they cross. And wherever they cross, I'm going to write that as an ordered pair for my x and y, and that's going to be my answer. If they don't cross, then it's no solution. And if they overlap each other, the two lines, then it's going to be an infinite amount of solutions. So let's take a look at our first example. Okay, here I have x minus y is equal to -1 and x minus y is equal to -2. And I'm going to graph it and see where they cross. My first step is to set each one equal to y so that it looks like y equals mx plus b in slope-intercept form. So I start off with x minus y is equal to -1, and I want to get the isolate the y by itself. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and subtract x on both sides. Okay. Once I do that, I'll simplify this down, and that's going to get me -y is equal to -x minus 1. Okay, and I went ahead and put the x in front of the -1 because that'll look more like y equals mx plus b. Okay, now the y is still not isolated. I have a -1 in front of it, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and divide the whole equation by -1 on each term here. Okay, once I do that, then I'll have it simplified down to y is equal to x plus 1. Okay, with my negatives turning positive here. Negative divided by negative is positive. And now I have it in y equals mx plus b format. Okay, now once I do that, I'm able to indicate what my m and b is. And the b is 1 here, and the m is the understood 1. I went ahead and made it into a fraction by putting 1 over 1. Okay. So now I have my first equation and the b and m so I can graph it. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the second one over here. All right, so now I have x minus y is equal to -2. I'll go ahead and subtract x on both sides here. That'll lead me to -y is equal to a -x minus 2. Okay. Again, I'm going to divide by my -1. And next I have y is equal to x plus 2. Now I have it in the slope-intercept form here. And now that I have that, I can go ahead and indicate my b and m. So my b is going to be 2, and my m, my slope is going to be 1 over 1 again. And here's a quick little hint. Anytime you have the same slope, they're not going to cross. But I'll show you that when I graph. So I start off with 0b, which will be 0, comma 1, which will be right here. Oh, first let me indicate that I've went ahead and did the first step. And my first step is to set each one equal to y equal to x plus b. Now I'm about to graph it. Okay, so now I have the first one graph here with 0, 1, and my rise over run is up 1 and over 1. So I have that one. Have my 2 points there, and I draw the line. Okay, now next I'm going to graph this one with 0b and my slope of 1 over 1. So here's my 2 points, 0, 2. I go up 1 and over 1, and that's going to be my line for that. Okay, so now I've graphed each equation starting at 0b and using the rise over run with the m. All right, now my last step is to see where they cross. But since they don't cross, that's going to be no solution. No solution. Okay, so that's the first example for graphing a system of equations and finding the solution by graphing. Okay, let's take a look at another example. Okay, here I have x minus 2y is equal to 4, and 7x minus 4y is equal to negative 12. Okay, so remember my first step is to set them equal to y, or set everything so that you have y is equal to mx plus b. So I'll subtract x on both sides. And that's going to give me a negative 2y is equal to a negative x plus 4. Okay, now to isolate the y, I'm going to go ahead and divide by negative 2 all the way across the equation on each term. Okay, and that'll get me y is equal to 1/2 x minus 2. Here, my negative divided by negative becomes positive, and I have a 2 in the denominator, and the understood 1 is going to make that a 1/2. Then I have 4 divided by negative 2, and that's going to give me a negative 2. Okay, so now I have my y equals mx plus b format here, with my b being a negative 2 and my m being 1/2. So I've got my first equation. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my second. So that's going to be 7x minus 4x equal to negative 12. I'm going to subtract the 7x on both sides here. Okay, go ahead and simplify down here, and I have a negative 4y is equal to negative 7x minus 12, moving that negative 7x close to the equal sign. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and divide by negative 4 all the way across. All right, and now once I do that, I'll have a y is equal to 7 over 4x plus 3. So I've got negative 7x divided by negative 4. Negative divided by negative is positive. I just wrote that as 7 over 4x. And then negative 12 divided by negative 4 is a positive 3. Okay, now I have my b and my m. b is equal to 3. M is equal to 7 over 4. Okay, so I did the first step. I've got them set equal to y equals mx plus b. And I have my y-intercept and my slope. And I can graph each equation. Now, um, since this is b is equal to 3 and my rise is 7, anytime you get big numbers in your slope, what you want to do is pay attention to where it's going to be because you may need to change the signs. Okay, so if you need to change the signs, what you would do is change it for um, just change the sign, whatever it is, to opposite of what it is. So here I have 7 over 4. Okay, and since it may not fit, what I'll need to do is make them both negative. Make them both negative. And I'll show you that example in just a second. But first, let's start by graphing this one with a negative 2 for my 0, negative 2 here. And I'm going to rise up 1 and run 2. Since they both positive, I go up 1 and to the right 2. All right, now I've got that graphed and I got my line there. Now I'm gonna make both of these negative because when I graph the 0, 3 here, if I go up 7 and run 4, I'll be off the graph. So what I want to do is go down so it'll stay on the graph. But in order to make this negative to go down, I have to make the 4 negative as well. You have to change the signs on both. So now I'm going to go ahead and go down 7 and back 4. And it'll still be a positive slope because it's going upward. So when I draw my line here, I can see where they cross. It's right here. And that's going to be my solution at -4, comma, -4. So that's graphing a system of equations. Let me go over the steps with you. So remember the steps for solving a system of equations by graphing is step 1, set each equation equal to y so that it's in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Step 2, graph each equation by starting at 0b and use rise over run with the m, your slope. Step 3, find the point where they cross and write it as an ordered pair, x and y. If they don't cross, remember there's no solution. And if it overlaps, that means it's an infinite amount of solutions. I want to thank you for checking out A1 Math and have a nice day.